Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Misty Doan. I am joined by Liz.
Hello.
Hi, Liz. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really excited to see how we make this project today.
I sent her a picture and she's like, what? How did you do it?
Yes, I'm super excited.
She's going to learn right along with you guys.
That's right.
It's very fun and it's so simple. We're going to make these cute little gift blocks tied with a bow, we're calling them, and there's a great printable that goes along with this project, so make sure you catch that in the link below, so you can print that off. I'll give you all the step-by-steps for it.
Misty, I just love a 3D detail. This is killing me.
I think it's so fun. Yes, it sticks up, gives you this really great little 3D bow on top of your present. And to make these, we used some leftover orphan blocks we have from tutorials. So these were some great Christmas ones. And I made a different version using the same concept. You might remember this from Jenny's Candy Lane tutorial.
That's right.
These are just using orphan blocks. But let me show you how to first get the block itself ready, and then I'll show you how to add this awesome bow. Because on this one, I did go ahead and add this strips in between to make it look like it's wrapped all the way around. So I have a block here, and I believe this one measures 8.5 squares. So let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Yep. Which means we need to measure over 4.25 both directions to cut this.
Step one is measure your block and find the half. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So we are going to measure over 4.25 and make a cut this direction, and then this direction.
And I'm also excited about, like, this can be any leftover block you have.
Exactly. It could be a solid block. It could be, I mean, if you have an awesome fabric that you like.
And you just don't want to cut it up, you can just cut a little to
just
add some
cut
bow.
A little. Exactly.
Okay.
There's so many options for this. All right, and so then now I have my 4.25 inch squares, and I have some pieces cut here. I have two 1.5 by 4.5 inch strips, and we're going to sandwich these together and sew our two pieces on either side of that skinny strip in the middle. So let's do that first. We'll do this one. So I like to kind of do both of these at the same time to keep my block oriented the way I want it. So I'm going to start with this one here.
Okay, good tip. So it goes back together the way it came apart.
Exactly, because I do want the block to kind of just look like we truly wrapped a ribbon around it. So I've got this. I'm doing my 1/4 inch seam.
And you said 4.5, but it's measuring the same. It's 4.25, right? It's the same.
I just said the wrong thing.
No.
4.25.
Cool.
Thanks for catching that. There we go. And now I have this bottom piece.
If it were a little bigger, you could just trim it down. No big deal.
What?
And if your strip's a little bigger, you can just trim it down.
That's exactly right. You could not even cut your strips to size. You could just, sew them all along. But I just like to go ahead and have it ready to go. And so then I've just finger pressed back this first one.
Okay.
I'm going to put this, again, making sure that my stripes are running through the way it was designed originally. And I'm just going to fold this over so it's right sides together. And we will stitch this one down. Whoops. Got caught in the plate there, so let's just make sure it's all still straight. And then take a few stitches, line it up again, and sew down.
Okay. And it looks like it doesn't matter if your skinny strip's on top or your block is on top. Okay.
No, it doesn't. I mean, if you have a preference, you don't have to keep it all together. I like to do it this way just because it helps me keep it all oriented the way that it needs to go.
Smart.
Helps my brain keep everything straight. Yep.
Good tip.
And then we'll just sew down this one. There we go. And then I go ahead and clip these apart. And we'll press these. So I like to press these to the center. Just find that it makes it lay nice.
And it kind of has an extra 3D effect to the ribbon itself.
Yeah, it's true.
You get that little bit of seam going that direction.
So then we press that one in and this one in. And then just make sure that it's still running the right way, and so far it is. We've done great.
Well done, well done.
And so now that you've got that piece in the middle, you want to measure the width of your block with that strip added. And I believe it should finish right at 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It does. And so now I have an 1.5 by 9 strip that I'm going to put in the middle of these two. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew it to 1 to begin, because I do want to line up those middle sashings. We want them to be as straight as possible. So
you're wrapping to be nice and neat instead of messy
yeah.
like mine.
Press this one back.
Guys, I'm with you. I'm so excited to see this in, like, I have half a dozen blocks that are just kind of left over.
Ready to go for it, huh?
That could be wrapped up with a bow. I'm just excited.
And so this is how these are going to go together. And one thing I like to do, if I'm lining up sashings like this without a cornerstone, you really kind of have to eyeball it. And your brain says, oh, I can just fold this over and it'll all match up. But I'm here to tell you that's not always the case.
Fair.
So it happens to me many times. And so I like to fold this over just like normal. But then I take some time, and you can see when your stitch lines are lining up exactly with the block.
Nice.
And you can even slide this down this way to kind of triple check, or fold it back to kind of triple check. And you can see I'm pretty happy with that. That looks really nice. And so I'm just going to go ahead and hold that here and grab a pin. And I'm just going to put one pin in the middle there to make sure my centers stay where I want them. So nothing crazy, but just one pin when I attach that last strip set.
Such a good tip for lining up the two sides.
You will be glad, I think. It can be really tricky to line up sashings like that. I don't know why, I don't know what it is about it, but just taking that time to pin those junctions, whether you're doing a single block like this or a whole quilt, it works the same way, and it's really helpful. All right, just taking the time to make sure we're still lined up. There we go. All right, let's press that. That looks pretty darn good.
Nice.
I'm happy with that.
No ribbon slipping.
Exactly. Close enough for me. Okay, so now let's talk about how to add that magical bow. It is very, very simple. You guys are not going to believe this.
I feel like I need a drum roll.
Ta-da! I can't actually, that was not an epic enough drum roll.
That was good.
But, okay, so we have a rectangle here of whatever accent fabric you've chosen for your ribbon. I'm just using red, and it is 5 inches tall by, I believe, 7 inches wide. And so first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half like that, and we are going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on either side. Okay, so we're just going to take this to the machine. And I am just going to start here, and I do like to back stitch at the top.
So if you're being really wild and crazy and using a printed ribbon, would you fold this right sides together to sew this?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good call out. Your right sides would be together because we are going to make it so we don't have any raw edges showing in the finished project.
Okay.
So again.
That's the great thing about solids. There's no real right side, wrong side.
Yep. And so you can see we've just sewed the two now short ends when we folded this in half, and we're just going to turn and flip it and press those little corners out if you need a pencil or a purple thing. I have nails, so my nails can just kind of get in there and turn them out.
Nice. Okay.
and then I like to just press this from the top. There's that part. Now, I like to fold it in half to give myself a finger press. And so you can see that creates that center line there. And we are going to lay this just like so in the middle of our ribbon. So this is the top of our present. And then we need a 3.5 by whatever the width of your block is. So in this case, 9, that we're going to sandwich on top of that. And this is another instance where a pin is your friend. So we're just going to put a pin through there. Just one will do the trick, and we're just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam across the top.
I'm like holding my breath. I'm so excited. I love a 3D detail. This just makes me so happy.
It's so fun. All right, and so now we can roll this back. Give it a good press, and this is all you have to do to make your bow. You're just going to pinch the center, and you're going to create like 3 little pleats, just like so.
Stop.
And we are just going to top stitch right on top of that, and that's all you have to do. It is so simple. You can decide how much you want to gather it or how little. And you can I just eyeball, because I can see on my ribbon here that I think the ribbon is helpful in that way to know where your middle is.
Sure.
And on this finished product, I did match my thread, but I wanted to make sure you guys can see. So I'm going to use white thread to top stitch this. And you do want to back stitch a couple of times because we have quite a few layers. But that is it. And then your little bow,
oh my God,
just lays so nice on top of your present. It's as simple as that. And so on this little runner here, the Christmas version, we have 3 of these blocks, and they're sashed in between with a 2.5 inch strip and a 2.5 inch border all the way around. And it measures, I believe, 13, yes, by, let me double check, 32. So 13 by 32.
And your top border was included in the block, so you don't even, this is like so easy.
Oh, that's true, yeah. So we only sashed in between and did the border on the bottom to create the separation. So simple.
So stinking
so
cute.
Quick. And then I want to show you this version as well. Again, this is more for birthday, you know,
Sure.
any festive occasion. And we just put a solid square in the middle with the presents going opposite directions. So if you have, you know, a bouquet or a cake, you have a place in the center.
Gotta have
to
a
put
place
that.
for the cake.
And you're not covering up your cute presents that you've, you know, not worked very hard on. They're really easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. It's so cute, this little tied with a bow runner, or you can make a whole quilt, whatever your heart desires. We did quilt this ourselves with just some simple stipples and straight lines, but you could absolutely machine quilt right over the bow if you wanted, but I like to let them loose and kind of have that 3D effect. So any other questions or anything, Liz?
I think this was awesome. Can we just get a close-up of the white thread on the red bow so we can see?
Yes, absolutely.
And just kind of tell us again. So you backstitched in a couple of spaces.
I did.
There.
So I kind of just went back and forth a few times, to be honest. I do a good back stitch at the beginning, and then at the middle where I have all that bulk, I also back stitch, and then again at the end, just to make sure we have nice strong thread holding all those layers together, and it works out perfectly. Like I said, I used you know, coordinating colors here, and you can see it just blends right in. You don't see it at all, and it just lays so cute.
This is such a cute project, Misty.
Thank you. I'm really happy with it, and when I realized how simple it was, I was just like, ta-da! So great. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy this runner, and it will be with you to make lots of celebrations more festive. It's a great holiday project to make gifts for friends and family, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.